In order to get good results out of a lesson delivery, it is important that the teacher makes a summary at the end of the lesson. She can also take the suggestions from the students in making the summary. She can also brainstorm the session in order to develop a summary from the students. For example, either she can just produce a summary by herself and write it on the board, or have it written on the worksheets and distribute those sheets to the students to have a look at it. Then she may ask the students to color the sentences which are familiar to them. That means those colored sentences would be the sentences the students have able to understand. In this way, the teacher would be able to evaluate how much learning has taken place. Another way to do that is that the teacher asks the students to develop a summary themselves. And they can just write the points or the words or the sentences on a piece of paper and then keep that piece of paper with them. And later, the teacher starts with a brainstorming session. And she says the students need to put in sentences on the board. So whatever the students have written on the papers, they can just say them out loudly, and the teacher may write those sentences on the board to produce a good summary. There is a possibility that there would be some grammatical mistakes and some pronunciation mistakes while the students are brainstorming this session. There is also a possibility of misinformation. Still, the teacher needs to encourage the students to develop that summary on their own, because that would be a learner-independent class. Every time, the teacher needs to see that the teacher talk time is much less than the student talk time. So the teacher is basically instructing while doing the lesson delivery. She is basically guiding and supervising the exercises that are related to the lesson delivery. So the target would be achieved after the lesson delivery when the students would be able to create a good summary of the lesson delivered. By that summary, the teacher would be able to evaluate whether the students were able to understand, grasp the meaning, and reproduce the meaning of the lesson. Also, at the same time, the students would be displaying a sense of team playing with the class. They are all contributing to a summary which they have come to now develop due to their own understanding of the lesson delivered. Therefore, everybody is working in a group and contributing to the brainstorming session. At the end, the teacher may have a look at the summary and then correct the mistakes that she thinks have been produced by the students. There is also another activity that the students can do is that could be a gap-filling activity in a summary. So the teacher puts some words with incomplete sentences, and the students need to complete those sentences in order to produce the summary. So a few words leading to the completion of sentences would also be a type of learner-centered activity, because if the teacher has given 3 words and the students are putting in 4 or another 3 words for the completion of the sentence, that means the students are contributing to the part which is actually wrapping up the whole lesson. So in that case, it would become a very achievable target for the students to develop the summary for the lesson that has been delivered. In that way, the teacher can also evaluate the students' understanding and also reproducing the text that they have done or the lesson that they have listened to.